Welcome to the Health Coach Nation podcast. My name is Hailey Rowe, and I'm a sales and marketing coach and LinkedIn lead generation service provider. I work with health, life, and mindset coaches and online service-based business owners to help them get more sales, shift their time to the client-generating activities instead of just the busy work, and overcome that social media overwhelm. Let's get into the show.
Hey everyone, this is Jessica from Hailey's team. This episode you're about to hear is from Therese Skelly's recent summit. Enjoy this replay of Hailey's interview.
Hey gang, welcome back to another episode of From Dream to Done, the summit that brings you great strategy and also says you can have a business that brings you joy, where you can use your intuition, you can factor in your energy in your life. And the most important is make money in a way that feels good, because there's a lot of teaching out there that looks fantastic, but it might not be the right fit for you. So I'm bringing beautiful women, amazing experts on to share their genius work with you. And today we have Hailey Rowe. So Hailey, welcome. I'm thrilled that you're with us today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here, and I love the mission of this amazing event.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let me do your bio, and then we're going to tell them more about your talk. So Hailey Rowe is a marketing and sales coach and strategist. She helps coaches, wellness professionals, and online entrepreneurs book more clients and grow their online audience. She also hosts the Health Coach Nation podcast, which is like top 1% on Listen Notes. She's been named one of the top 25 coaches in Chicago and one of the top 3 podcasts for health coaches. Since 2010, Hailey has worked in the coaching industry and in business development and marketing for startups. So I'm so happy that you're with us. Thank you for being here, darling.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, you're going to talk about the 4 steps to client attraction without social media overwhelm. This whole summit is about how do we do it without overwhelm. So we're going to get there in a minute. But let's talk to me about, because the promise is, how do you make money in a way that feels good? So when people can master their social media and attract clients, what you're teaching, tell us how that helps to make money in a way that feels good.
Yeah. So the way that I share the 4 steps of client attraction is to give you what are the phases that somebody goes through when they're a stranger and they don't know you, all the way to them becoming a client. And I think it's really helpful to know that, because then you can take the 4 steps and the phases that people move through, and you can apply them to any marketing channel. You can apply them locally. It's not like a one size fits all. Everyone has to do the 4 steps on Instagram or on Facebook or things like that. So what I'm big on, and what you're big on, is finding a marketing path that you can stick with, that is where your people hang out, where your ideal clients hang out, and being able to focus there instead of thinking you need to do all the things all at once, which is another path we always tend to fall for. And then kind of getting nothing out of all of them because we're just so scattered and unfocused that we're not really able to continue to improve and evaluate, because we're just throwing a bunch of random things everywhere.
Well, and it's really easy. It's like seductive. Like, oh, everybody's on Substack. I should go over there. Oh, but they're saying my people are on LinkedIn. So how do you pick a platform? Let's just start there.
You pick a platform by a couple criteria questions that you want to ask yourself. So the first one is, who is your ideal client, right? Because if your ideal client is senior citizens, well, then we're probably not going to pick TikTok, where the demographic's young people, right? So who's your ideal client? That's number 1. Number 2, what are your strengths? Do you love being on video, or are you a people person and you love being at in-person events? You love going to retreats, you love going to conferences, or are you the kind of person who likes writing and maybe blogging or guest blogging or things like that might be more your style? So what are your strengths? Who is your target audience? What do you think you'll be able to stick with consistently? So, if you hate Facebook, let's not start there as that being your first one you pick. To maybe one day you'll expand to Facebook, great, but maybe right now that's not the one we're going to pick first. And then I think the last thing is just making sure that it's sustainable for you and you're not picking 12 different things at once like we talked about.
There's so much overwhelm. So there's the where to start, where to put it. And then a lot of people hear like, well, you should have a 30-day content calendar. Go to ChatGPT, get 30 days of prompts or posts or whatever. So how do you, because I know if somebody's in overwhelm, they won't be consistent. I mean, I'm a poster child for this, right? I'm like, oh, go great guns. And it's like, shoot, I haven't posted for 3 weeks, right? So
Hmm.
how do you help people just stay out of the overwhelm and just be like, okay, this is a task. This is how I do it. So let's talk about that because I think that's where people
Yeah.
break down.
Well, I think the first thing is choosing your not to-do list and constraining.
Okay.
Like we have these giant to-do lists, but we've never looked at, wait, what can I be doing to not get myself into overwhelm? Well, number one, I could set a goal to stop scrolling so much and comparing myself to other people I see on social
Brilliant.
media.
Yes, so good.
Or I can set a not to do list, meaning like one thing I'm really big on is I have a someday list or later list where I put
Oh,
like if I really want to watch some kind of webinar or something,
yeah,
and it's just not like I'm not going to be doing the thing they're teaching right this second
right,
because I have
right.
other plans and I've already, got it in front of me. I will put it on my later list
Mm-hmm,
and I will
mm-hmm,
refer back to it at that time. So there's that like FOMO, I think, that comes
mm-hmm.
up and
Yeah,
leads us to
yeah,
overwhelm and thinking we need to jump to something really quickly. But having that as like having a place to park your ideas for the future so
so
that you're like,
good.
okay, I don't have to keep this in my headspace right now, but at least I got it down and I can return
Mm-hmm,
back to it later. I think that's a
mm-hmm.
key thing. And then I think the other thing is realizing if you are not setting a realistic daily plan for yourself, like if you write a to-do list and every day you feel like you're letting yourself down because you never get to all of it,
Right.
or it's too vague, like it says, work on your website today, but it's like, what does that really mean? Did I
Right.
actually accomplish that? Like, did I
Mm-hmm,
work? Like, yeah, I worked on my
mm-hmm.
website, but I didn't finish it. So does that count? Like, and
Yeah,
so we have to learn how to build trust with yourself and honoring the commitments you make to yourself. And we have to start small with that. So start today making decisions ahead of time of what are you actually going to do? What's the 1 to 3 things you're actually going to do
this is
today?
good.
Making sure each of them are 30 minutes or less. And if you're not sure, then you haven't broken it down enough. And making sure you could say, yes, I did this, or no, I did not. And if it's not possible, if you're looking at your list and you're like, I don't know, that's fuzzy, then it's too vague. You haven't broken it down enough. And I think the
This is
last thing
so
to add
good.
about
Yeah,
overwhelm is sometimes we forget that things have pre-steps. So in other words, we'll write down like, oh, I need to you know, pitch to podcasts, but you haven't done the pre-step of what is my podcast pitch that I'll
right.
personalize for
Do you
each
have a
person,
one
but
sheet? You have your
here's the
research.
generic
Right.
one that I'm going to
Mm-hmm,
kind of tweak.
mm-hmm,
Or, I need to research podcast guests
mm-hmm,
first. So day one will just be researching who am I, or podcast hosts, I should say,
mm-hmm.
who are the podcast hosts I'm going to reach out to. So just remember, because that can defeat you up front if you just, feel like you're constantly letting yourself down because you wrote down, pitched a podcast, I didn't do it again. Well, why? Why are you not doing it? And
Yeah,
that will tell
yeah.
us what are the pre-steps you might be missing. Are you giving yourself enough time for a task or
Mm-hmm.
buffer room? That kind of thing.
Oh, I just felt my nervous system kind of go, oh, okay. Because social media, it's a black hole, right? And there's more platforms every day, and everybody's shilling something. This is the new greatest, fastest, this is the guru is telling us to go here. So I love pick one. I love these really good things. Now, what about because social media is a long game, marketing is a long game, right? Being on
Mhm.
a podcast, getting in a magazine or print, it's not an instant, boom, I got 700 new subscribers often, right?
Right.
So
Mhm.
what's the mindset? Like, how do you show up? Okay, I'm going to do my marketing work. How do you think of it? Because modeling
Yeah.
is a concept that's so important. Like, okay, you have to think like her. She does this right. So how does she think? So tell us that.
Well, I think a lot of people are used to the employee mentality where I go to a job, I'm told what my responsibilities
Mm-hmm.
are, I do
Mm-hmm.
it, and I get my salary or I get my hourly rate, and that's that's how
Right.
they think. So then when they transfer over into having their own business, they're like, okay, so I'm going to do these tasks. I'm going to post, I'm going to put my website
Yeah.
up. Clients are going to come to me. I'm going to get paid, and I'm not going to have to do anything that's really hard, or I'm not going to have to, you know, wait and have delayed gratification and
Mhm.
build touch points with my audience and
Mhm.
all the things. So the way that I have to think about it, and I tell my clients this too, and I kind of see it like click for them. It's like
Good, good.
we are kind of like commission-based salespeople, or we're kind of
Oh,
like realtors, where if you think about it, a realtor has to meet with the leads on an appointment to see
mhm.
if they want to work with them. They have to, then when the person decides they want to work with them, they don't get paid up front. They
Right.
have to
That's a
go show
process.
the
Right.
houses, do the research, show them the houses, take them out
Hmm.
for a full day. There's no guarantee that the person's going to buy the house.
Right.
We don't know what timeline they're going to make a decision by. It could be a fast sale, it could be a slow sale,
Hmm.
and then it's going to close and then they get their large commission. So, as you can see in business, it's kind of like we get a bigger reward on the back end. Like
Right.
we get to set our own schedule,
Right.
we
Yeah.
get to make higher pay. We have
Hmm.
an
Hmm.
unlimited ceiling for how much money we can make.
Yeah.
But on the front end, we are doing the steps required without
Mm-hmm.
seeing the end pay yet.
Hmm.
And the biggest way you get in your own way is you think, oh, well, that shouldn't be how it works. Like, I should be paid first, and then I'll do all these other things, or I'll feel better, about my marketing when I see that it's actually working. Well, you have to do it to get it to work
That's
for a
right.
little while, right? So that's like the mindset shift I think you need to have is like, and believing that the value and the things you're putting out into the world, it's an ecosystem. So
Mm-hmm.
don't think it's like tit for tat. Don't think it's
Hmm.
like, oh, if
Hmm.
I do this one discovery call, that's going to be the client. No, it might take five discovery calls. That's
Right.
part of the
Right.
game. And then two or three or one or whatever say yes, and that's your conversion rate
Yeah.
we start to figure out. So realizing that there's nothing gone wrong
Hmm.
doesn't mean
Hmm.
you need to stop and you're doing it all wrong. It just means that's the game
It's a
and
game.
that's part of it. And I think we really have to celebrate those little wins along the way of even if you book five discovery calls and only one person says
Hmm.
yes,
Hmm.
those no's still count as a great result in your business. You are
You're
moving
learning
things
something. Yeah.
forward by
Right.
doing
Right.
that. You're
Yeah.
learning, you're growing, you're doing and again, if we think about it like you make the one sale, well, it was just that five calls were required to make the one sale. That's just what we
Now we
know
have the
right now. It's
data.
your
Right.
data.
Right.
Yeah, right.
And I don't think people talk about this because there's a lot of, the clickbaity headlines or the bro marketing, like, 10K in 30 days. So there's a lot of
Mhm.
misinformation, if you will. It doesn't
Oh
work that
yeah.
way. If you don't have, 50,000 person audience, basically. And one of my things that I always teach, I had a woman sign up and I had met her like 8 years prior. And I was emailing every week. And she comes and says, I've been on your email list for 8 years and now I'm ready. Eight
Yes.
years.
Oh my
She spent
gosh.
a boatload of money with me. Now, I could have said all my marketing failed, but actually, my marketing was driving trust and credibility. And so,
Yes.
when she had a need and the right offer, she was like, "Oh my God, of course." So, I just want you to hear it's a long game, and you can't be like, "Well, I sent 3 posts," or I my marketing was exquisite and my launch didn't work. So what do you do? Because we've all had that. So what do
Mhm.
you do? How do you hold that emotionally? How do you not get into doubt or like
Yeah. Oh my
that
gosh.
collapse, right? That's a really
Right.
hard one.
Oh, there's two things I want to share. First, just off of your example with the
Yeah.
eight-year email person, it's so true that, again, so when I say all the value you're putting out into the world is an ecosystem, and
Love
just
it.
know that it will all come back to you in some way, shape, or form.
Brilliant.
It may
Yes.
not be the way you think it's going to come back to
Mm-hmm.
you,
Mm-hmm.
but just know that the seeds you're planting today are nurturing that client that's going to reach out 6 months later or
Okay,
whatever.
hold on. I want you to say that again because that's that we need the little hooks to hang on when
Yeah.
we're not seeing our emails open and nobody's responding. So say that one more time.
Yeah,
That
the
was really good.
seeds you are planting today are going to be the harvest or the people that reach out to you 6 months later that you did not see that whole time,
Yeah.
but they had been reading, they had been nurtured. So with posts, it's the same thing. I get people saying, I'm upset that I'm not getting engagement on my posts.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you, as someone who works with a lot of clients, I've had a lot of clients tell me not ever engage on my posts, never even seen them comment on one post.
Yeah.
But then they have a discovery call with me and they're like, I love your posts. They're so great.
Right,
They
right.
sign up as a client, or they looked at them before they signed up to just make
Mm-hmm.
sure it was like legit person, right? So we just don't see those silent viewers.
Yeah,
And so you
yeah,
have to, now going back to your mindset, you have to keep your mindset engaged when you don't see the
right.
fruit yet,
That's right.
right? So
That's
how
right.
we do that, when you said, what if you have a failed launch and you're getting really down on yourself? Well, the first thing is we want, and I know this is easier said than done, but we want to separate yourself and your identity from
Mhm.
your business. Your business is a separate entity from you. And I know your passion. I know the people listening to this
Yeah,
are
of course. Absolutely.
heartfelt leaders.
Yep.
They're doing this because this is their passion, and that's wonderful.
Right.
But your business is not you. It is something
Right.
you've created. It's a process or a framework or a system or a way to help people that you've created.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to look at it as data, like you're the scientist or you're the CEO or you're the chief marketing officer they
Mm-hmm.
hired at your own company, or you're the top affiliate for your own company. And
I
you
like
have
this.
to look at it like that instead of, oh, because my launch didn't go well. And then you start making it mean things
Right,
about you.
right.
I'm a
Ex-
loser.
This is
I'm
it.
not cut out for this. I'm the
Right.
kind of person who can't sell, et cetera, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing, is data goggles
Mm-hmm.
on. And then I think the other thing is to make sure that if you want to, keep your mindset strong, give yourself ways of tracking. You know how in weight loss, they're like, there's non-scale victories
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you're going to hit a plateau and it doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It's just your body's not adapting yet or whatever. It's kind of similar in business. There's non-money victories that you're making
Exactly.
right now.
Exactly.
And there's different forms of currency in business too. Like there's actually making a sale, but then there's also building up a referral network. There's
Mm-hmm.
also getting a new testimonial. There's also, getting a new visibility opportunity. So tracking those wins and
I love
celebrating those
that.
wins, I think, is a good way to keep yourself engaged. And the other thing is evaluating. So giving yourself questions to, instead of asking yourself questions that get you in the mindset, dirty diaper, like, oh, why is this so hard for me? Why,
They don't want me, right?
right,
Like you
like,
say, it's
why
not
can't
personal.
I figure this out? Those are
Mm-hmm.
not productive questions.
Mm-hmm.
We need to elevate the quality of your questions and your
Love
evaluations that
that.
you do. So better questions would be, I'm noticing people book a call, but then they don't show up. I wonder what might be happening between the time they book a call and don't
Mm-hmm.
show up,
Mm-hmm.
and where the gaps are, and maybe what kind of objections I might need to address in follow-up
Mm-hmm.
email, or what kind of follow-up I might need to do, or like, so much better question than, oh, why
What's
can't I
wrong
just
with
get
me?
anybody? Yeah, what's
Yeah.
wrong with me?
Yeah.
Why is that people must not want to work with me? Things
Right.
like that.
I love that. I often say measure something else, because we measure money came in versus, like you say, did I get a new opportunity? Did I have a better day? Was there joy? It doesn't even
Yeah.
have to be the tangible things. It can be, I love that post I put out, and I feel really good about that post.
Yeah. How do I want to feel today?
There's a lot of being unattached. That's the thing. Like, and
Mhm.
this is why it's a very special, we're kind of weirdos, like entrepreneurs. There's no guarantee. It's a lot of faith. It's a lot of insanity. Like you get an idea and you're like, they're going to love it. And you have to act. And there's a lot of building the plane while you fly it. And for a lot of
Mhm.
people, it's like, I just want a paycheck and I want to be told what to do. So you have to understand there's magic and there's difficulty, right? We get the great
Oh yeah.
rewards, and it's not for the faint of heart. So props to you all for being here. So,
Yeah.
okay. So
Totally.
what are some ways you can use social media like in a more productive way in business? And thank you for answering that question, because I think what
Yeah.
you just shared, I think people are going to really resonate with that. So let's talk about social media in
So,
a more productive way.
yes. So, social media, in my opinion, is meant for being social and connecting and building relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm very, very big on less. Yeah, I do believe that we want to have posts out there to our audience that show us that we're alive, that we're well, that, we exist. We want a presence, right?
Yeah, sure.
But you don't have to be posting every single day, all the time, 24/7,
Right.
etc. I think your time is actually better spent doing two things. One, collaborations on social media.
Mm.
So that is where you may find someone who complements what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they don't offer the same service, but they share a similar audience.
Right.
So, like, let's say I'm a menopause coach and I do nutrition stuff, and my partner or this person I'm going to collaborate with here is a chiropractor for
Mm-hmm.
women. I mean, maybe there are many women, but a subset of their audience is menopausal women,
Mm-hmm.
or a personal trainer for women over 50 or 40 or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
That would be a good collab partner online. And maybe what we do is we either give each other a social media shout out and, hey, I want to introduce you to my friend, and she shares
Mm-hmm.
tips about blah, 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 and you give her a
Nice.
follow. Or
Yeah.
maybe you do a live interview swap
Mm-hmm.
and interview each other on your expertise. Or maybe you're on their podcast, but then vice versa. You share their freebie with your audience,
Right.
their lead magnet with your audience, or a lead magnet swap. So there's a lot of fun ways that you can build your audience on social media just by collaborating with somebody else. And then I think the other option would be to connect with your ideal potential clients, but in a way that is classy and not,
Not spammy.
hey, buy my program.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
my message where I'm going
Right.
to share with you, you
Right.
should buy my program.
Right.
It is good though to like, so for example, I love LinkedIn because LinkedIn is a networking platform. That is
Mm-hmm.
what it's for.
Mm-hmm.
It makes
The
sense to
design.
network
Mm-hmm.
on social
Right.
media versus Instagram, might be for entertainment, might not be for you could still use it to
Yeah.
network, but LinkedIn's like made for that. So what I like to do is I do like to connect. It's like a connection request, which is
Mm-hmm.
same like a friend request on Facebook, but it's more normal on LinkedIn because it's a networking platform
Mm-hmm.
with my target audience. And I like to get to know them and say, thank you for being a new connection here.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of content do you find useful? What would be helpful for you to see here, if anything, about business, marketing, mindset, whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And if they say something, I want to deliver on that. Oh, I
Right.
have a post about that, or I have a freebie about that, or I
Right.
have a
Right.
podcast episode about that. Would it make sense to share it, right? So that's kind of two different ways you can use social media in a different way other than just posting, which is what
Mm-hmm.
everybody
Mm-hmm.
thinks they need to be doing, to be able to get more reach and build deeper
That's so good.
relationships.
Because there's so much like you have to post 3 times a day and 5 times a day and at these specific times, and it's too much. Like you're like, if you just think of your nervous system, when you hear that, your whole body's like, ugh. And so I love
Yeah.
what you talked about, especially the collaboration. And I don't know if that's talked about enough. It's leveraged because Hailey could go and she could make, 50 contact requests, and then it's slow and it could be days, or she could partner with somebody and have 50 people go, oh my God, I just listened to you
Yeah.
on Allison's boom. So
Hmm.
how do you, because a lot of people maybe are newer at that, or they're a little shy, or they might have like,
Yeah.
would they want to work with me? Like, how do you reach out to somebody? So let's say you have and again, it's not like we're both sales coaches. We're both like, she
Hmm.
does the marketing and I do the mindset and energy. We would be a perfect collaboration, right? And so
Yeah.
if somebody has same audience, but you have a little slice of difference, how do you have somebody approach that? Like, what would an off? Because I
Hmm.
know there's the where to go it, but get that first contact. Let's walk that out for
Yeah,
people.
yeah. Well, okay, so before I share that, I just want to tackle the who would want to work with me. So
Right,
if
right.
you're like, well, I have a small following, so I
Yeah.
don't have a lot to offer this person. Because like if I do an interview with them, I only have 100 followers or something
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, but that's not the only thing that matters, right? So,
Mm.
number one, answer the question, who would want to collaborate with me? And
Yeah,
write down
I like that.
what comes up for you. What value do you bring to their
That's right.
audience?
That's right.
How could you make this the easiest collab they ever do with anyone, and do
Mm-hmm.
the steps to make it
Mm-hmm.
super simple for them? How can you share that, yeah, you don't have a big following right now, but you're going to keep sharing that interview as your following grows, right? There's
Really nice.
creative things that you can do to make it more enticing for
Mm-hmm.
somebody to want to collaborate with you. Now, how you reach out is how you reach out to any kind of human, and use your emotional intelligence, right? So it's permission based, right? So it's,
Uh-huh.
hey, so and so, I noticed we both work with blah, blah, blah niche.
Mm-hmm.
I love what you're doing and personalize. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
love that you have a podcast
Right.
about whatever topic. Um, I do XYZ. Um, would you be open to connecting sometime and exploring some kind of collaboration?
Nice.
And then you could add a sentence if you want about what kind or why you're
Yeah.
saying that or
Yeah.
whatever. But a question. A question is how we start the
Beautiful.
conversation.
Beautiful.
And they may say no, they may have no response.
Mm-hmm.
They may say yes, they may say F off. We don't know, but that's not, if you came in and you were like, hey, I think you should, or do like a weird bait and switch thing where it's like, hey, I want to collaborate, but now I'm going to actually sell you on it.
Yeah, don't no.
Don't do that.
Our people won't do that. They're not wired this
Yeah,
way.
I
Yeah.
don't feel you would, but I've
Yeah.
had podcasts where I booked it and they're like, and then it turns into like, hey, I thought I
What?
booked a podcast with you. Yeah.
Oh
Very
my.
strange.
I didn't know that was even a thing. Okay. Goodness.
Yeah. But anyways, so a question and then take it from there.
Yeah. That's so good. So there's so much like I have to get new leads, I have to get new leads, got new followers, get clients. More so get partners. Like if you would just
Mhm.
make a simple task. I have a list of people I want to be in contact with. And it's often people I've worked with before, people that I have
Yeah.
been on their podcast. They've been over like, why am I not reaching out for the people that I've talked to the last 5 years and go, what are we doing? So in terms of networking and I think that would be a fantastic, and this is for me too. I'm just preaching to the
Mhm.
choir because this is like, it's because we get so focused on the clients and build the
Yeah.
list. But this is the collateral that is going to drive so much more. It'll be probably higher value in many ways, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, and I love what you said about people you already start with your warm network.
yep,
Start with
yep,
someone you have something in common with already.
yeah.
You have a mutual friend. You could get a warm introduction.
Mm-hmm.
Anything like that is always going to be probably faster than a brand new
Brand new,
connection with a
right,
brand new
right.
person. So start there. But if you don't have that, that's okay to start new.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Mm-hmm.
just know that you got to take the first step.
I love it. Okay. I know you have what you call the 4 steps of client attraction, and you're going to do a little training for us. So
Yeah,
can we
sure.
roll that out now?
Yeah, I would love to. So
Great.
I'm going to share my screen,
Okay.
but I gotta get it in present mode. And I apologize for the sun. It just like came in the room and is shining on my face in
No, it's great. Yeah.
weird ways. Okay. So
There you go. It's right over your
um
mouth now. That's like,
yeah, it's
that's
like
what, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to find the right spot to not
Like,
get the shadow on
like
me.
the light is
Okay.
upon you, girl. That's what's happening
Woo,
here.
the
Yeah.
light is upon us, y'all.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
so
right.
the 4 steps of client attraction. So these are, like I said, something that you can take and apply to whatever platform you're choosing to work
Mhm.
with online or locally. And they are, and I'll go more deep into each one briefly, but
Mhm.
connect, engage, pre-offer, and sell. So what I mean by connect is we need a way to find and reach your target audience. So again, we talked about potentially reaching your ideal clients through LinkedIn or reaching your ideal clients by being on a podcast and connecting with partners. So we need to have what is your method for connecting with people? Engage is building meaningful relationships. So this is where we ask that initial question and we start the dialogue, right? And you're going to build more touch points with the person, either in a conversation, through your posts, or if it's a potential client, maybe they do get on your email list, they get follow-ups or things like that. Then we have the pre-offer, which is where we provide, once we know when someone has engaged with us and they've shared what they want or need or what they would find useful or the goal that they have, we then want to provide a quick win or solution up front to build know, like, and trust. So this is where we might, if they're struggling with a certain topic and we have a lead magnet about that,
Mhm.
we might invite them to that.
Perfect.
And then once they go through that or they use that, then we may invite to our sales page if they want to explore further. So that's where it's like, and I call it an invitation because it's going to be, hey, how did that freebie go for you? Maybe in one of your follow-up emails or something. And then saying, not sure if you're also looking for help with blah, 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 or if you're looking to take it deeper with blah, blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah. But
Mhm.
that's what I do. The invitation is open to you if you did want to book a call or whatever.
Fantastic.
So that's kind of the 4 steps. Now, let's go through some things to decide that for you. So again, we talked about how do you decide which platform or which thing you're going to use? We're going to decide what has worked in the past. So that was one I forgot to mention. Like if you've had clients before and they've all come from word of mouth, then maybe you're going to start a referral program,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like most people will say, "Oh, I can't duplicate word of mouth. That's just kind of random." Yeah, but you could start a referral program where you say, "Hey, past clients, I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate you for referring me in the past, and now I have a referral program that's official. And if you refer someone and they sign up, you get XYZ or whatever." So, what has worked in the past? Could you do more of that in some way, shape, or form? Where can you be consistent? So, choose a platform you can, you don't hate and that we're not going to be dreading our life. And then, what are your strengths? So, again, don't pick TikTok, if you hate short form content, you hate showing up on video, you don't work with young people. Not that,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody's on TikTok now, but
Right, right,
you know
right.
what I'm saying. So here's some examples if you're getting stuck. If you're listening
Okay.
to this and you're like, I don't even know my options, right? So we have in-person things you can do. Like you could do local marketing, meaning you could look for local partners in your community where you could co-host a
Mm-hmm.
workshop, or you guys could put, you could put flyers at their center, or you guys could do some kind of giveaway together in the community or something like that. So we have local. We have conferences you could attend to meet people that are within your niche. We have events you could probably go to in your community where you could go to meetup.com, or you could look up, anything where you think your target audience would hang out. There's actually also networking groups you could join, like with other entrepreneurs if you wanted to meet partners. So in person is an option. Online, you can look into, maybe you want to take the approach of being on podcasts and being a guest, or maybe you want to communicate and be featured and visible in certain online groups or forums or communities. Like, so maybe there's a Facebook group that you can't promote in, for example, but maybe you reach out to the admin and you say, do you ever have guest interviews? Or maybe there's a promo day in that community where you are allowed to promote or something like that. And then directories, sometimes you can list yourself as a direct, on certain directories and pay to be featured. And then social media, picking what social media platform might you want to be on, or as we talked about, the referral program. So we can pick an option for where you're going to connect with people. Then we want to initiate the connection. So if you're now, sometimes being visible will be enough. It'll be like you being on a podcast and that's it. Or somebody's seeing you in a directory and calling you, and that's it. But other times you want to initiate the connection, just like we talked about with the
Right.
collab partners. Maybe you want to say, do you want to collaborate? Or maybe it's a potential client who just, connected with you on LinkedIn and you want to thank them for being connected and you want to start the
Mm-hmm.
conversation. So the connection message should be short. It shouldn't be a call to action or anything crazy yet. It's just kind of like, hey, it's great to connect and why you're happy you connected, right? Or it can be if it's a collab outreach, I'll show you,
Okay.
we talked about what you could send there. But this is a real example of something I said. Uh, I'd love to connect. I work with many in the coaching world. Great to meet you. And she replied, right? This is actually a message I got from
Mm-hmm.
someone else on LinkedIn where they said, hey, I came across your profile. I saw we had a couple of mutual connections. I enjoy connecting with like-minded business owners and thought I would reach out. I look forward to chatting further. And I looked at his profile. I saw we both have podcasts, and we ended up doing a podcast swap. And it was
Oh,
as
nice.
simple as saying, hey,
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
do that. We
nice.
both have podcasts. So as you can see, it's nothing crazy. Then we engage. So this is where we test different intentional questions, both in your posts, if you're posting. So you can have posts, trying to get people to engage with you in the comments
Mm-hmm.
or in DMs with a question in your post. Or it could be asking a question directly, like we just talked about. in the collab message, for example. So here's an example of, we kind of touched on this, but here it is in writing. You got a new LinkedIn connection, or you got a new follower, or you have somebody who is saying they're excited to see your content or something. Well, we can say something along the lines of an intro message and asking our intentional questions. So, great to connect. I'd love to hear more about you. I'm a whatever you are. I would love to make more content useful for my whatever social media platform you're on. Following, when it comes to topics like whatever you want to be known for, insert that.
This is
Do you have
so
any
good.
questions or challenges in these areas? I hope to bring value in my future posts and trainings. So we're trying to get to know what does your audience want and need from you so we can deliver that.
And
And
this
just so
doesn't
you
this
know,
doesn't feel like sleep. This isn't like, hey, book a call. Like this isn't
right?
racing ahead. This just feels like they can answer it or not, but it doesn't have doesn't
Yes.
have pushy energy to it. This is really lovely.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, you do not have to send this the same way in the same language. You don't even have to send this if you don't want to. But I'm just showing you an example of applying the 4 steps of client
This is good.
attraction.
Yeah, nice.
And you could take this again, you could do Facebook ads and follow the 4 steps of client attraction. You don't have to do it this way. It's just one example. And then here's an actual example of a LinkedIn conversation again, where I asked a question. I didn't say what kind of content do you want to see, but I did want to take an interest in another business owner and hear what are they working on these days? What kind of, because it is a networking professional platform. So what are you working on these days? And they shared with you, or with me, sorry, let me go ahead. Oh, maybe I didn't put it in here. But they had shared with me, um, oh, I'm looking to get speaking gigs and blah, blah, blah. And naturally, number one, I had a good connection for them. So I was able to say, oh, well, you should talk to so-and-so because she's looking for speakers for that topic or whatever. And also, I had a speaker pitch template, which I was like, oh, I have a speaker pitch template, which is one of my freebies. Would it make sense to share it? And there you go, right? And that was helpful for her. So, and then this was earlier when I talked about the podcast guy, or the guy who reached out, who I saw he had a podcast. All I said was, thank you. You too. I see you're a fellow podcaster. Maybe we could explore podcasting together. And he said yes, and we did. So,
Perfect. Nice.
as you can see, and I put this screenshot in here so you guys could see this. A lot of people think that you're being a burden for reaching out. But I've gotten messages like this, which I was surprised.
Really nice.
Someone
That is
saying,
so
I'm
nice.
touched that you messaged me.
Yeah.
So it's not always the story of everyone. No one wants to hear from me. I'm being a burden.
Exactly.
Sometimes people are like, thanks for making me not feel like another number on your social media. Right.
Well, and you obviously you did it in a way that it wasn't repellent, right? Because I get so many messages, particularly on LinkedIn, that they're jumping to get on, what's your top challenge? Get on my call. I can, what I mean? It's too much too fast. And yours has a like, oh, I want to go, yours has me leaning in versus pulling away. So yeah.
Well, and I think too, it depends on your actual energy when you're doing this, right? Like, I'm curious. I'm just nosy. Like, I want to know. I want to know about you. I want to know all the things. So, but you can
across. Yeah.
You can read tone, I think. We could say the same thing, but if someone's energy behind it maybe it'll come off maybe slight, like even a couple of words, it'll come off slightly different. That's right? So step 3 is the pre-offer, which is, this is when someone's engaged back with you and they've shared what they find useful or what kind of challenge they have or whatever. This is where now we want to be helpful to them. So this could be where you offer your pre-offer, which is a free baby offer that solves a specific problem for your niche. And I say baby offer because I mean, it's a slice of the cake. It's not your whole cake. Your whole cake is your offer and your service. The freebie is that little thing that solves a quick win for your audience, allows them to see this person has my back. I was able to solve this problem kind of quickly with their freebie. Awesome. Yeah. Nice. And, I have examples of good titles for freebies. So freebies could be something where people join your email list and get a free gift in exchange. And, I don't want to get too off in the weeds, but my point is have something of value to provide people. It could even be a post on social media you did if you don't have a lead magnet. But a title needs to not just be healthy tips if you're a health coach, or, if you're a virtual assistant, just something that says, here's my informational guide about my VA services. No, you want the freebie to be
About
solving
them. Yeah, this is really good. Excellent.
Menopause coach could say, free guide, 3 ways to drop the 10 menopause pounds naturally. Or if you're an overeating coach, the 5-minute trick to stop nighttime overeating. Or if you're a time management person or someone who does services where you get people back their time or something, get 3 hours per week back with my free mom boundaries checklist, something like that.
Yeah.
So just so you know, you could provide your freebie as a guide or a checklist or a video. We won't get too in the weeds on this, but the point here is you go to that pre-offer. You mention your pre-offer both in conversation and in your posts. So notice this is a post I did on social media where at the bottom, I mentioned my free content roadmap as a call to action. So it was a post giving value about content creation. And then at the bottom, I said, if you're struggling with content creation, you want my free content roadmap to make 30 posts, comment content, and people did and whatnot. So
nice.
I'm gonna just stop sharing it. Oh, I'm gonna go to the sales phase. So step 4 is the sales phase, which is we need to decide your sales process and how you're going to invite to that. So it's either going to be your discovery call, a webinar, having a sales page, or having email follow-ups after your lead magnet where people can know what you do, understand the offer, that kind of thing. And the way you transition is either you do like a webinar where you give value up front and then you transition to, if you want more help with this, here's how you can get it. Or you have the conversation with someone where they get value from your freebie. And now we're seeing, not sure if you're looking for other help with this, or you mentioned you also want to do XYZ. Would it make sense to have a chat, or are you looking for more support? Something like that. So we ask it as a question, and that's kind of the sales phase. So I'm going to stop sharing so we don't go over time. But
no, but I love it's all permission based, because that's where people are like, oh, I hate to ask. And when you just say, hey, would it make sense that I send that to you? Then they're asking, then they want it, as opposed to, oh God, when do I put it in? It's so, that was so good. I have to tell you, there's a male lady out here and my dog's barking. I don't know if you can hear it.
Oh, no, I don't hear anything.
Okay, good. Okay. No, this is why you guys need to buy the replay, because you're going to want to walk through this a lot slower on your own time. This was magical. Like, you gave so much good advice, and it was really, again, I just have to say nervous system friendly, because so much marketing is designed maybe for the bros, maybe for, the single dude that doesn't have a family and can work 30 hours and isn't like, having a kid or a fiance or has dogs, you know what I mean? And so this is just like, oh, that felt so doable. Hailey, that felt so doable and not overwhelming. So last question, and then you're going to tell us about your freebies. Okay. What about social media burnout? Like, what can we do to prevent that? Because that will just, tank everybody. So just answer that, and then we're going to talk about your gifts.
Yeah. So burnout comes from your thoughts mostly. Yes, there is such a thing as physical burnout, maybe where you haven't slept and you're not feeding yourself and you're not drinking water and all of that. But
Don't do
most of the time in our business, especially when it comes to social media, burnout is self-induced by our thoughts. So we need to ask yourself, what are you thinking about social media that's causing you so much exhaust? Which it might be, oh, no one wants to hear from me, or this isn't worth it, or why even bother, or I have to do everything on social media, and if I don't, I'm not worthy. So pinpoint what is going on do a brain dump about your thoughts about social media and what's weighing you down. Then we need to ask, is this really true? Or do we want to reframe this? Or is there something we can do about this obstacle? Sometimes you'll write down a true obstacle, like you're just worn out that you don't know your password to Facebook and you need to get that taken care of. right?
It's
Like
a real thing.
sometimes
Yeah.
it's a strategy shift. Other
Mhm.
times it's like, no, literally you're comparing yourself and it's making you tired. And again, I'm so sorry about the sun.
It's okay. No worries.
Did not expect
Yeah,
it to
really.
go crazy during this call. But that's so, and then the next step, like I said, the mindset shift, if that's something that doesn't feel real for you right now, like you're like, yeah, but I just really believe this about social media and it's true for me. Well, okay, let's start to just like create a bridge for ourselves to create new evidence and start to
Beautiful.
wiggle that belief and show ourselves other evidence that something else is possible for us and put ourselves in communities like this
Mm-hmm.
where you're getting support
Mm-hmm.
and making it small steps and bite size. So all the things we talked about today can help you prevent that social media overwhelm. But it really starts with wiggling those beliefs that
So
are
good. Yeah.
stopping you.
I've taught my clients like to create a marketing identity, right? And
Hmm.
sometimes what's your why? Why? Of course, we want to grow a business, but maybe you have a mission. Maybe it's like, I don't want another woman to have to go through what I went through. So that gets you out of bed. Like what is the
Yeah.
woman that is the marketer that can just go, I easily post, I'm bold
Yes.
with my messaging. That's an identity shift because the old ones, like you talked about your thoughts. So figure out the thoughts. Is it true? Is it somebody else's? Like a lot of women, when
Yeah.
you're
Did
younger
somebody
than
else
me,
teach me this?
a lot of women were raised more like, oh, you're being so much. Like, we really just,
Mhm.
like there's a lot of
Tone it down.
conditioning.
Yeah.
And so I love you said that, just what's in there. And if I posted a lot, what would I be afraid of? Who would be judging me? Like, just really, you have to do this work. And once you do this work, then you're going to get the replay and watch Hailey's magical presentation again and again. So, all right, everyone that signs up gets a free gift. So tell us about your free gift.
Yes. So my free gift goes deeper into how do you have, you know how we talked about step 3, the pre-offer,
Yeah,
having a
yeah,
good freebie?
yeah.
How do you make that really high quality? How do you grow your email list
Mm-hmm,
ongoing? Because that's a scalable, we all don't want burnout. We
mm-hmm.
want to be taking our social media traffic and driving it to our email list so we can nurture and launch to those people instead of, burning ourselves out posting all the time. So this freebie takes you through what kind of freebies good, what do you do to get people on your email list, and then how do you nurture them once they're on there. So it's
Oh,
available at
good.
Hailey Rowe.
Oh, we'll have this. Okay. We'll give them the
Got the
link. Yeah,
link.
don't worry about that. Yeah.
So it is going to take you through how to go from crickets to clients with your freebie funnel formula.
And this is where a lot of people get stuck. Like, well, what would I create and how do I do it? So, fantastic gift. All right. Now your VIP. So for only $97,
Mm-hmm.
many of my speakers have been given amazing, amazing gifts. So this, and you get the replays as well. So you'll get a whole
Yeah.
level of gifts and all the freebies and then a level. So what's your VIP upgrade?
So the VIP upgrade is from Overwhelm to On Track, and it's going to take you through how to create a weekly marketing protocol for yourself that gets you focused on your unique client generating activities instead
Mhm.
of just busy work. So it helps you know, what do I prioritize? What do I
Mhm.
put on the back burner for now? How do I plan my week in a way that's strategic and I'm not going to, burn out, or I'm not
Mhm.
overscheduling myself? And it walks you through all of that.
Brilliant. Hailey, this has been fantastic. I like you really brought it. You just, because again, marketing is so overwhelming to people. That's where people it's just like this vast thing. And where do I go and how do I start? And so I love you gave such specific, wonderful, nervous system friendly tips. And you're in the light. So the woman showed up, the light came
I'm
with
so
her.
sorry about that.
Oh, it's so funny. This is, we're doing life as we're doing business. So, all
Yes,
right.
this is live.
This is live. That's right. So thanks everybody for listening. Let us know how you responded and make sure you grab Hailey's gifts. This is like, seriously, this is the stuff you need. These are the nuts and bolts that are really going to allow you to make money in a way that you love and do business that works for you. All right. Peace and blessings. And thanks again, Hailey. That was fantastic. Bye now.
Thanks so much for listening to this podcast. And if it's really helpful for you, I'd really appreciate if you share it and or leave a written podcast review. This tells the podcast sites that our show is useful and it will be promoted to more people that way. Thanks again.